Good day everyone, I am Daisy Marie Rosel from BSBA HR1B, and this is a self-video on Commonwealth speech. Our task is to put ourselves during the era at the peak of Commonwealth in 1945. Imagine that I am one of the Philippine Congressmen or Congresswomen that time. So I will deliver this speech in Congress if I am in favor of granting independence to the Philippines, or I am in favor of making the Philippines one of the states of America. Having independence is important in order for a country and its people to develop. Independence is important for a country because it's the very reason of its existence. It is free from oppression of the hostile country which colonizes our land and enslaves our people. Our country and its people prosper and can decide our own fate. Independence is vital and nothing less is satisfying. Granting independence to the Philippines and making it one of the states of America seems like a winning idea in the minds of a lot of Filipinos today. We would have been a lot more trouble than it is worth it. Independence is one of the dream-long desires by Filipinos. The Philippines became part of the Spanish Empire for more than 300 years. This resulted in Catholicism becoming the dominant religion. Later in the war, it was liberated by the combined forces of Americans and Filipinos. The Filipinos fought vigorously for our freedom from Spanish. We should open our minds, especially the distortions and motives of great powers in their agenda to acquire wealth and territory. Dealing with the U.S. as an ally can be beneficial but might come with a hefty price in our end because of possible double crossing. The majority of Filipinos wanted independence and have been wanting independence and have been fighting for independence for 330 years under the Spanish rule, and this desire for independence and self-rule didn't change. After being sent back to the Philippines in June 1944, Cabangbang said he gathered intelligence for MacArthur's landing at Bataan, Lingayen Gulf, and other sites, leading to the liberation of Manila and winning him the United States Region of Merit Medal. A number of prominent nationalists such as President Manuel Quezon had wanted independence by all means. He had said that he preferred a country run like hell by Filipinos to a country run like heaven by the Americans. Let's take for example, you own a house, simply put what goes on in your border is under your control. So for example, a person wants to live by your house because he has nothing to live by. And then you let him go and then eat what he wants. But after that, he feels at home like he owns everything. He wants to do everything and not under your control anymore. And take to imagine that is your house, that is your home. And you want your home to be ruled by anyone that's not your own? It's not appropriate. We should own and we should rule what we own, not other rule what they don't own, okay? If we rejected the Treaty of Manila that had offered independence colony and had voted instead to become America's 51st state, how would it now be looked like for America to have 100 million Filipinos as US citizens in a time zone that is almost 12 hours offset from its eastern seaboard? The entire world would have been radically changed if the Philippines had become a U.S. state. The current population of 100+ million would have been greatly reduced. This is due to the liberal culture of the United States, and most Filipinos who are religious Catholics would no longer pay much devotion and attention to their faith due to the assimilation. The relationship between the Philippines and the United States had been strained by tensions between revolutionary forces and the U.S. military. Tensions escalated in 1899 and the colony fought the Philippine-American War with the United States, which led to the American political concessions in exchange for further Philippine subjugation. While the United States did take back the Philippines after the Japanese occupation from 1942 to 1945. The tension between the two groups was not something either side could ignore, so the United States did agree to grant independence to the Philippines after the war. So I guess it is better to choose independence instead of being part of the States of America. If the Philippines become a state of the United States, it would be a territory first like Hawaii and Alaska. These two states were U.S. territories before the Philippines will become a colony. You know, there is that tiny light of nationalism left in me, to have the courage to say no, even though it looks infinitely better if it was that way. Maybe life is easy if we are in favor of making the Philippines one of the states of America, but I still cannot give up our inherent freedom and independence even if it means ignoring the positive things that being a United States can bring. However, in my heart as a Filipino, I will still defend our freedom to the best of my ability. We fought for how many years to our country to be independent, to have freedom that we Filipinos have been longly desired. And I think it's a good idea. It's a better idea to choose independence over to be one of the states of America. We can rule our country. We have our own fate. We can make our own fate.